Even though I haven't opened the letter yet, but I am 100% sure that UCLA Film School has just rejected me today. What's up? It's the Culture Detective here investigating your favorite movies. And today I'm going to be, it's like 1 a.m. in the morning right now, and I'm going to be doing a movie review on the new movie, Beau is Afraid, written and directed by the one and only mastermind Ari Aster. So, Beau is Afraid is a recently released new movie from A24, the one and only legendary art house indie movie production company, and it is spearheaded by Ari Aster, who is responsible for some of the most well-made, well-directed horror films in the last 10 years, including 2017's Hereditary. And this is not only a fantastic psychological horror film that uses amazing elements of dread as well as slow camera movements and editing, but also this film made me fall in love with psychological horror. And I'm sure this film also made many other people fall in love with psychological horror. And this sudden wave of love and passion for psychological horror got even deeper with the release of Midsommar in the year 2019, where once again A24 and Ari Aster has surprised us with an artsy, interesting, refreshing take on the genre. And Ari Aster is the exact reason why so many people around me right now, when I'm studying film, also want to make psychological horror. All of a sudden, everyone wants to make artsy horror films. And that's Ari Aster's fault. It's his fault, okay? So, but yeah, Hereditary is a great film. Midsommar, not as great in my opinion, but still really well made. For sure, Ari Aster has revitalized the psychological horror genre, and I really respect him for that. He is one of the kings of A24, that's for sure. But if you have seen Ari Aster's short films, you and I both know that this isn't the real Ari Aster. A lot of new modern filmmakers also start off their career with horror, which is totally understandable. You either start with neo noir or you start with horror because these two films are the easiest to make, easiest to market, easiest to get yourself attention. But really, if you have seen Ari Aster's short films, you would know that his style is psychological horror, but also at the same time funny, awkward, absolutely ballsy, weird, melodramas. If you have seen his short film Basically with Rachel Brosnahan, or the sequel to that C'est la Vie, or the hilarious The Turtle's Head, and even darker films like Munchausen and There's Something Strange About the Johnsons, also have a twisted sense of humor in it that really make Ari Aster. Especially with this film, Beau is Afraid, which is actually adapted from his own short film, Beau. And essentially, Beau is Afraid is about a guy whose name is Beau, and he needs to go to his mom's house, and he just can't. On his way to his mom's house, he just keeps running into trouble, running into things, seeing things, experiencing things, and something so simple, something that's supposed to be so simple, turns into a 3 hour fantasy comedy epic with elements of thriller and horror and melodrama in it that's absolutely insane. Essentially, this is Ari Aster just throwing all of his thoughts and feelings onto a screenplay, and it's as personal as ever. He made this movie for himself. He doesn't make it for you. He's not making it for entertainment purposes. He's not making it because it's artsy horror. No, this time he's not showing off. This time he's just vomiting his own personal shit onto the screenplay. This is essentially Ari Aster's very own Bardo, because last year, Alejandro González Iñárritu, one of the best Mexican directors ever, released Bardo, which is a 3 hour long, self serving, personal, psychological, trippy thing, sort of an autobiography. And this is basically Ari Aster's Bardo. This is 3 hours of pure existential dread, anxiety, guilt, self-hatred, and confusion. And this film is definitely not for everyone, but unfortunately, it's for me. It's my cup of tea. It's right up my alleyway, and I freaking love it. If you look at the reviews on Rotten Tomatoes and Letterboxd and IMDb, you would see that there are a lot of negative reviews calling this film a piece of shit. But the more polarizing this film is, the more I want to see it. I love a film that pisses people off, not because it's meh and boring, but because it just goes so far. It's just so out there. Kind of like Mother by Darren Aronofsky. I haven't even seen that film, by the way. First of all, of course, this is very obvious. Joaquin Phoenix's performance is absolutely amazing. I feel like a role like this only works if Joaquin Phoenix plays it. If it's any other actor, it will not be pulled off. Only Joaquin Phoenix can pull off such a character with such an awkward energy. Also, the humor in this movie. This movie is so damn funny, by the way. I watched it in AMC theater, and the whole theater is almost full, and everyone's fucking laughing like every 5 minutes. And usually, I am annoyed by that. Like, why the fuck are you laughing? But I find this movie very funny, and it's so ridiculously dramatic and not self-aware. It's actually good. I like humor that's also self-aware, but if Beau is Afraid is self-aware, it would have collapsed in and of itself. It has to embrace its own absurdity in order to really fully function. So I really, really like it. Also, I forgot to mention that this film originally is titled Disappointment Boulevard. But anyways, the first 30 minutes of Beau is Afraid is an absolute nightmarish mayhem, and it's some of my favorite minutes in cinema in 2023. It's just one terrible thing after another, after another, after another, after another, after another. It's pure, unadulterated anxiety, and I enjoyed it. Just seeing this guy suffer, seeing Joaquin Phoenix suffer nonstop in the most ridiculous, absurd ways possible is just really entertaining, and not even in a Schadenfreude way. More of a damn, I just feel so bad. If it gets any worse, and then it gets worse. And I just love how Ari Aster puts so much detail into tiny jokes, like Joaquin Phoenix's character Beau. He has such a terrible life. He goes home, and the streets are garbage. The streets are full of insane people, junkies, and then he goes to his shit ass apartment with his broken elevator, and the door is broken, and he eats a microwave dinner, and it's called Aloha, a mix of Irish and Hawaii. Really? And then when he goes to the grocery store to buy a bottle of water, and this guy was like, help me, help me, help me, help me, help me. And even after he enters the grocery store and the guy bangs on the window, help me, help me, help me. That was fucking hilarious. And then when his keys get stolen and his luggage gets stolen, and the janitor's like, you're fucked, and then just walks away laughing and then refuses to elaborate. That was both really ominous and really funny at the same time. And I just really like that. And I think part of the reason why I really enjoyed these scenes is because I have been living in LA for nearly a whole year now, and I kid you not, the streets outside of my apartment right now are absolute fucking garbage. It's full of junkies, and it's full of vomit garbage, and it's been 2 weeks and nobody's cleaning it up, and I can totally relate with Beau on that. Garbage, stinky ass streets. That's that. And then afterwards, we basically enter one blackout after another. Beau constantly gets hurt, gets bumped in the head, something happens, and he just blacks out and he wakes up. And that sort of happens like 4 times, and we sort of enter through 3 more sections of this movie. One with a rich white house, the other with the play and the final act being at the mother's house, also the climax, and yeah, the plot literally makes no sense at all. It literally makes no sense at all. And once again, like I said, this film is nothing but Ari Aster vomiting all his pain and misery and just slapping it onto a plate and say, "Here you go, eat it up." But I actually ate it up and I actually enjoyed it. And another reason why I really enjoy this kind of shit is because the last two, three, or if you don't count My Bloody Valentine, the last two short films I shot is literally that. It makes no sense, it's plotless, and it's basically me beating myself up for your pleasure and for my own pleasure as well. Basically, turning my own pain and misery into a cinematic format. And especially with my latest short film, which will be coming out soon. So when I see that Ari Aster has the balls and the attention to detail to create 3 hours of this, it just really earns my respect. And to some, it's pretentious and self serving, but to me, it's incredibly vulnerable and ambitious. So Ari Aster is a real one for that. The play scene is also absolutely gorgeous. I love the set building. I love how the animation is mixed with the live action. It looks really believable and gorgeous. And there's also this beautiful narration over the story that has a folklore, almost a biblical quality to it, which I really love. And if there's one complaint I have, it would be that the last act of this film is nowhere near as fun or as memorable as the first three acts. But the whole film ends on a Pink Floyd The Wall, The Trial-esque scene. I don't know why, but whenever I see a movie scene or I listen to a song where it's basically the main character in a trial and his entire life flashes by, it automatically reminds me of The Trial in Pink Floyd The Wall. Also, Bobby Krullick's score is quirky and drony, and even in scenes where there are no music, he still adds a tiny layer of drone in the background to make it oh so unsettling. And I also like how Ari Aster sort of referenced his past works, like in the final scenes with Beau going to the attic is sort of like a reference to the climax of Hereditary, and then the guy falling onto a giant rock and smashing his face, that's kind of like Midsommar in a sense. But yeah, overall, I really enjoyed this movie. I really like it. I honestly thought it would disappoint me. It didn't. I actually managed to like it. I wouldn't say it's the best Ari Aster film. I wouldn't say it's the worst either. But whatever this new, strange, wacky direction that he's going, I like it. And if you don't like it, that's okay. But I do. Because I'm a self-loathing piece of shit. And that's all I can say. Also, I went to AMC and I had the balls, I had the testicles to actually buy myself orange juice and popcorn because I decided to skip dinner to watch this film from 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. So, I'm fucking serious. It's not crunchy anymore. I can't believe I forgot to give this movie a score. I'm giving Beau is Afraid a strong 8 out of 10. Yes. So, have you watched Beau is Afraid? Comments below, let me know. Like it, hate it, if you hate it, and subscribe if you want more. And thanks for watching. Blah!